before I get into today's lecture, I just want to thank everyone for supporting my channel. You know, my YouTube channel truly would not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. And just a reminder, don't forget to mark your calendar for June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another relational lecture, and the focus of that lecture is I'm going to give a lot of insight on many things that I do to continue to grow my YouTube channel. You know, June 6th of this year, my channel will be 5 years old. So make sure you mark your calendar for that. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is I'm going to share some of the currency that I have collected from traveling abroad. If the audience is aware, December of 2023, I took a phenomenal guided tour to Cairo, Egypt, and visit many other 7 wonders of the world within Africa. And then November of 2024, I took another guided tour to Italy and Rome, and we went to a lot of historical sites over there. In the latter part of this year, I'm already making preparations behind the scene to take my next guided tour to Paris. And as I travel abroad, one of the things that I do is first of all, I travel extremely light, people, because my focus is to share this, enjoy the experience. I was in Cairo, Egypt for almost 2 weeks, and I literally piped one backpack, and that was it. I do zero shopping when I travel abroad. I get a photo album, number one thing, to each country I go to, and I get postcards. I purchase various postcards when I'm in that country. This is information on my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. But one of the things that I do, here's another postcard that I purchased when we was in a shop in Cairo. And I just got a lot of cool stuff in here, but the main thing I want to share is anytime when I travel abroad, I always make sure that I bring some of the money that's left over in their currency in Africa. This here, the American dollar value in Africa is much, much higher. But however, when you're traveling abroad, the first thing I tell anybody, when you get to the airport in that country, go to the teller machine and use the teller machine in that country, and it'll spit out their currency. This here is in Africa, they use the pound. This is $100 pound. This is another $100 pound. This is a $50 pound. And I can go to my bank and get this converted to American money, but I'm not, because like I said, as I continue to travel abroad, I make it my business to bring currency from that country home with me, and that's ties into going into my photo album. This here is another $50 pound, and I like the way their money look. I really do. I had a lot of money from Africa left over, and I gave my guide towards the end a big tip in pounds prior to leaving to go to the airport to come back to America. And this is a $5 pound. So all of this money here is in pound, is what they use in Africa in terms of their currency. It's and like I said, I got a lot of other cool stuff in my photo album, in my Cairo, Egypt tour, guided tour. I think I got some coins in here. Let me see. There's another pound. Got a lot of postcards. There's another postcard that I purchased when we were at a shop in Cairo, Egypt. We had a phenomenal guide. She was a full-blooded Egyptian. Here's another postcard that I bought when I was over there. Giza pyramids. We literally walked inside of those Giza pyramids, and it was breathtaking. To be able to stand before a structure that was well over 4,600 years old before Christ, to be able to walk inside of those pyramids was breathtaking. You know, I tell anyone, make it your business to take a trip to Cairo, Egypt, to see these seven wonders of the world. What they teach us in school serves no purpose. You have got to go there and get it from the source. I did a lot of live footage when I was over in Cairo, Egypt. In the Valley of the Kings, I did a lot of live footage on that. Ramsey 1, Ramsey 9, the Giza pyramids, the biblical Nile River, and like I was saying, you know, anytime I travel abroad, I'm going to make it my business to hold on to some of their currency as part of how I'm setting up each photo book. Here's another, like I said, that's the Giza pyramid, and just to be able to look at this, to know that I literally walked inside of this phenomenal structure, stood at the base of the Egyptian pyramid and touched this phenomenal structure that can be seen from outer space. So this is my guided tour from 2023. I did a guided tour to Rome in Italy, November of 2024. And as you see here, this is a postcard I bought from one of the shops in Rome of the Sistine Chapel. And it was breathtaking to literally walk inside of the Vatican City and see the phenomenal Sistine Chapel in living color painted by Michelangelo. It was breathtaking. In Rome, they use the euros. This is a $10 euro, and I like the way the money looked. It's much thinner than African money. Africa used the pound, Rome used the euro. This is a $10 euro. Here's another $10 euro. I didn't really had a lot of money left over from Rome, because when I got to the airport in Rome prior to coming back to this country, I had more on me, but I converted some of Rome money back into American money, but I held on to these two. And then the real coins, I brought over some extra coins that they use in Rome, Italy, right here. Their coins look a whole lot different than ours. So I brought a lot of their coins over to add to my collection of money. And throughout my Rome, Italy little book, I purchased quite a few postcards when we went to different shops in Rome throughout Italy. It's the money. Here's a little item that I purchased there from a shop. And I met so many people from all over the world in the Rome, Italy guided tour. Here's another postcard that I bought right here. And in this particular guided tour, there were like 40 plus people in that guided tour. I was over in Rome for a couple of weeks. And I met so many people from all over the world. Our guide did a phenomenal job as we went through that guided tour. And like I said, as long as God give me breath, I'm gonna continue to go to different parts of the world and get my postcards, bring me some of their currency back, and enjoy that experience and travel light. I updated my passport, so I'm waiting on my new passport to come. You know, I tell anyone, you know, there's so many things if you want to do it correctly, there's so many things that has to be done behind the scene, especially when you're getting ready to travel abroad. Making sure your passport is in order. If you got to update your passport, update your passport. I would always recommend a person to go through a reputable travel agent. I strongly recommend to do a guided tour package. You're going to get a bigger bang for your bucks, and you're going to save a whole lot of money. You ain't got to worry about anything. And what a paid guided tour means, meaning from beginning to the end, you're going to be with a group of people in another country, and you're going to have a guide who is going to be guiding that group on an itinerary day by day to go see many of those 7 wonders within that country. You're going to have an itinerary. We're staying at various motels because, when I was in Africa, to see the pyramids in Cairo, Egypt, and other those phenomenal structures, some of those distances be 4 hours apart. So we ain't got to worry about trying to navigate transportation, hotel stay, none of that. That all comes with the package. And then it's more safety when you're in a guided tour with groups of people. And because I don't know anything about these other countries, you want to be guided and book through a reputable travel agent and go through the appropriate steps so you can enjoy that experience versus trying to figure out how to navigate and get to these various historical sites and you don't know where you're going. It's just so many benefits behind, going through a travel agent. I tell anyone prior to traveling abroad, do your due diligence. Depending on where you're going in this world, you may have to check with your primary doctor to see what specific immunizations you need for that particular part of the world you're going to. When I went to Cairo, Egypt, the guided tour in Cairo, Egypt in December of 2023, there were a series of shots, immunizations I had to get prior to going to Cairo, Egypt. And there was a few of those shots I had to get spread it out within 3 months. So I had to prepare early to be ready to go to that guided tour December of 2023. When I went to Rome and Italy, November 2024, there were no shots I needed for that region of the world that I was going to. And prior to me going to my next guided tour to Paris, I'm gonna make sure that I don't need any shots for that particular region. So that's more evidence when you're doing it the correct way. There's so many logistics behind the scene prior to going to another country. If you want to do it the correct way, the safe way, in the most economical way. You really do save a lot of money by getting a package deal and doing a guided tour through a reputable travel agent versus trying to go to a whole nother country by yourself. Then you're spending money on hotel and motel, food, transportation, all these different historical sites you're going to, you're paying for that. When you do a package deal with a guided tour, going to all those historical sites, that bill is incorporated in that. Because trust me, you ain't gonna just be able to go to Africa and walk and see those pyramids without paying some kind of fee to get over there to the pyramids. Because the plane ain't just going to drop you off in front of the Giza pyramids. No, there's another form of transportation you got to get to actually get to those pyramids, people, real talk. So again, the focus of this lecture was to share some of my, with the audience in terms of some of the currency that I collect and bring as I travel abroad to go to these different countries in this world. And I'm going to continue to be on this trajectory path to go see all of the 7 wonders of the world as long as God gives me breath. And I'm telling you, once you begin to travel this world and see this world, you will not return the same. You will not return to the United States the same. And the beauty of this, I'm doing all of this debt-free, people, literally. I'm already in preparations of getting ready to pay now for my trip to Paris the latter part of this year. The bill will be paid before I even get on the plane. And when I was in Rome in Italy, November 2024, when I returned, I already began to put the strategic plan in place to start pulling my money together progressively to pay forward for the next trip. And that's how I'm able to travel this world debt-free people without creating new debt, and that's power. So again, the focus of this lecture was just to give you guys some insight on the different currency in different countries, and it makes sense if you're going to travel abroad like this. It's to me it's more valuable in pulling my scrapbook together for each country I go to with postcards purchased from that country, currency from that country. Make no mistake, it's more of an impact. And then in addition, I do live footage. I did a lot of live footage when I went to Rome and Italy. I did a lot of live footage when I went to Cairo, Egypt. Check out some of my videos, some of my popular videos, and you will see a lot of my live footage when I travel abroad, and I'm here to tell you. So that's all I have. And again, don't forget to mark your calendar for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to get insight in regards to how I continue to grow my YouTube channel. That's all I have. Simple Fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.